Clare Moody, Labour MEP for the southwest of England. The campaign is going really well. We've been out across Dorset today talking to people, talking to voters about what they think of the European Union and whether they want to stay in. We've had dozens of Labour Party supporters and members out with the leaflets for explaining what Dorset gains from being inside the EU, and we've had a really positive response. Obviously, a lot of people want more information to make the decision, and that's why we're here, that's why we're out on the streets, because we want people to have an informed debate about our membership of the EU, not a debate that's governed by some of the prejudices that we've seen in some of the campaigns to leave the EU. The benefits of staying in the EU are prosperity. So that's about the jobs that we get, that's about the wider prosperity of the British economy, because we're part of this big market. But crucially, it is a market with rules. So we also benefit from the protections of rights in the workplace. As a former trade union official, I used to use those rights in the workplace. We also have protections for our environment, a mechanism by which we can tackle the huge issue of climate change and tackle tax avoidance that happens across borders, because we have a cross-border democracy in the EU. And also it's about securing our peace long into the future. And those are the things that our membership of the EU bring to the people of Britain. TTIP is an issue that has been raised by a lot of people, and I'm very well aware of the concerns, and indeed as a Labour MEP we have red lines about those concerns. The issue around the NHS and protecting the NHS from being in a trade deal is actually the responsibility of the national government, who can put in a list of things that they are willing to protect. We checked this back before May as Labour MEPs to see that the Labour government could take the NHS and protect it. That would have been the case. Sadly, we didn't win the election. But the trade deal itself won't happen. If indeed it happens at all, it will not happen for years. And it will also be subject to national parliaments. But the final thing I can say on this is democracy is alive and well and kicking in the European Union. People from obviously the southwest of England, thousands of people have been in touch with me, but also with politicians in Austria, in Germany, in the Netherlands, in France and other countries. And that's why we hear what people's concerns, and we are making those concerns live and being debated inside the EU, so we can take them on directly and make sure TTIP does not be a threat, if it happens at all, that it doesn't happen to our NHS. One of the really important things about the migrant crisis, the refugees that are coming to Europe from all manner of other countries, particularly Syria, are coming because of what's happening in their homeland. We are best able to respond to this if we act together as countries, ensuring that when people arrive that they're properly recorded, and that then we as countries across the EU can share responsibility. In Britain, we're not taking any of that responsibility with regards to the people that have come to the European Union. We are taking 20,000 people over 5 years. There are 4 refugee families in Cornwall. There are 2 refugee families in Devon. British citizens are not being impacted by this refugee crisis. I would argue that we could and we should be doing a lot more in our country to help people who are running away from barrel bombs, who have seen members of their family die. We should be taking a much bigger role in this crisis right now. I don't know, in all honesty. I am hoping to goodness that they will. I think once people start hearing the facts about Europe, we now have just under 4 months to explain to people how we benefit, why it's important we continue to be inside the EU. And I think At that point, then I think when people have the ability to make an informed choice, I think they will vote to stay inside the EU. But we will need people to vote to do that.